Welcome everyone. Today we'll be discussing on the topic people separation. Why do people leave an organization? What are the reasons behind it? And what can we do to understand the process in detail? So yes, the contents of why people leave might be good one, bad one, and the ugly one. So we have the promotions. One of those reasons why people leave because they get a wonderful promotions within the company or outside the company. So what are the purpose, principles, and types thereby? Transfers wherein the people offer a different kind of posting, be it within the company or in the same location or in a different location, the same position, as the reasons, principles, and types of transfer are thereby. And definitely, as the topic says, it's all about separation that we talk about it. The layoff, the resignation, the dismissal, the retrenchment, and the suspension that comes around it. Promotion is an upward movement of an employee. Remember, that is what we are discussing around it. It's an upward movement of an employee. Promotion means an improvement in pay, prestige, position, responsibility of an employee within an organization, as the case might be. A mere shifting of an employee to a different job, which has been a working hours probably, or better working hours, better location, more pleasing work conditions, and does not amount to promotions altogether. This is what we are looking forward to it. Remember, promotions, it is always having not only having a fatter paychecks, but also probably a lot of prestige, a lot of responsibilities has been assigned. It is definitely an upward movement, or in other words, quite relaxed environment, better working hours, better time, well cushioned job, well ironed out working conditions, which will actually be very pleasing to your work life balance, as the case might be. The purpose of promotion is to motivate employees towards higher productivity, to attain the retained services of qualified and probably competitive people out there. Yes, we are here to recognize and reward people, and that is a very utter uh, underlining of promotions altogether. We are rewarding them, we are recognizing their potential, and we are trying to retain them the in this particular fashion, keeping them motivated at the same time. So why do we promote? To improve on their effectiveness, to improve the loyalty factors that needs to be inculcated in them. Fill up higher vacancy, definitely yes, within the organization. Build loyalty, morale, as I've already said, a sense of camaraderie, sense of belongingness to the employees, to impress upon others the opportunities are available to them in the organization, and if they perform well, and that is what we are looking forward to it. Remember, principles of promotions are having a clear policy for filling the position from internal employees or through recruitment. Top positions are normally filled through recruitment, and lower and middle positions through promotions. So basis of promotion usually is the merit of seniority. Basis of promotion may also be the competence of an individual. Vacancies or no vacancies, what are we talking about it? Why do we go for promotions as such? So even if there are no vacancies, if you go about promoting an employee, that means you are seeing a wonderful potential and you want to retain that employee. And then there would be certain organization where there are no frequent promotions or altogether. It might be time bound, and it might be on a seniority basis. It doesn't give due weightage to performance as a matter of fact. So promotion should be preceded by job analysis and performance evaluation, and that is what we are looking around. Promotional policies should be discussed with the union, as the case might be. Clear policy for filling of the position from internal employees or through recruitment. Top positions are normally filled through recruitment, and lower one through the middle positions through promotions, as on when on basis. Transfer is called horizontal or lateral movement of employees. Transfers involves a change of job accompanied by a change in the place of the job of an employee without a change in responsibilities and remuneration thereby. This is what we are looking forward to it, and that is what transfer is all about it. Reasons. Now, what are the various reasons for transfer as the case might be? There might be various reasons. For one of the major reasons is the shortage of people in one particular department. And as a result, you want that particular department to be manned by some people who are already seasoned in the organization. So why not have an established employee go and start performing from the day one that they join around there? To sort out boss employee issues, at times there are issues that has to be resolved around it, that needs to be taken care for. Yes, to sort out the boss issues, employees issues, there might be conflict that comes around it every now and then. We need to have a corrections of the faulty initial placement of an employee. Monotony can be avoided by transfer. It also helps in raising productivity. That is what we are looking for it. The health reasons, climate may not be good to work for longer periods. Family related issues, as the case might be, as in what we are looking forward to. So reasons for transfers are plentiful. Absolutely yes. There might be a shortage of staff, there might be issues with the relations with the boss and the employee, there might be initial final placements or faulty initial placement in the first place. Transfers are also been done to uh, break the monotony in the system. There might be family related issues also, personal request for the transfers thereby, and that is there are n numbers of reasons for transfer. Now let us go to understand the principles of transfer thereby. The frequency of transfers and the minimum period between transfer needs to be decided and made known to all the employees. The authority which would handle transfer is to be decided upon it. What we are looking for. The criteria for entertaining transfer needs to be laid down and strictly adhered to. And that is what is being ascribed altogether. The criteria should be maintained, should be transparent, and should be strictly adhered to, because in case if it becomes lucrative position that needs to be transferred, people might apply for it and it will crib for the position, which will basically trickle into a political scenario over a period of time. So the areas of the organization by which transfers has to be made can be defined, can be predefined. Performance of the employee should be assessed before they are transferred, as the case might be. This is what we are looking forward to it. Then is the case of types of transfer. That is what we are looking for it. Broadly, transfers can be of three varieties. First, they are being designed to enhance or acquire your learning skills. Probably, if you have been transferred to a newer position, you will be exposed to a newer working environment and have a proper due exposures altogether. And that is what transferring is all about. It probably there are the second reasons where people has been trying to be adjusted with the firm's working, or the firm is trying to adjust to the working of the person. So that is where mutually benefited, and then they have been specifically designed to root out the problem of poor remedy of placement, probably a faulty placement in the very first place, as the case might be, and the acumen can be differently done around here. Specifically, transfers may be productions, replacement, versatility, shift, and remedial. Production transfers to meet the shortage of employee during promotions, as the case might be. Replacement transfers to replace senior position by junior officers as in when on basis. This is what we are looking for. Remember, this is the fact that comes around in your mind every now and then. Versatility transfer is to make employee versatile, competent in different areas. So if you have an exposures in marketing, probably yes, why not go around with it. Similarly, if we can have, there's a person is already working in the marketing department, can be put into the purchase department, he or she will also understand the fine nuances of the criteria that needs to be adhered to when making purchases on behalf of the company. So as a whole, it's an all-round personality development or com complete orientations as far as operations of the firm is concerned. And that is what is the versatility transfer is all about. It shift transfers is transfers between work shifts, definitely yes. Remedial transfers on request of an employee, also often called as a personal transfer. Probably somebody wants to work at their native town, place, city, whatever you may call it, And that is what the remedial transfer is all about. It. This is what we are looking into it. The production transfer, the replacement transfer, the versatility transfer, the shift transfer, and the remedial transfer. I hope everybody is very clear as to why transfers are required, as in that some transfers are based on the organization requirement, some are on the individual requirement, some for the furtherance of the career of an individual employee, as the case might be. Now let us talk about these people separation issues, as the case might be. Yes, separation is one of those things that comes in a play, and every one of us, every employees will eventually have to go through this process of separation, even if it means retirement. Yes, we all have to get retired. People often quits, which is voluntary. Now, this is what is a voluntary thing, when people on their own quit. Why do they quit? Because they might have got positive vibes of a better opportunity somewhere else. Why do people retire? Because they might have come with the conditions, with the medical conditions where they cannot work as effectively as they can do around it, or probably due to old age. Again, the production capacity have been reduced. So this was all about being voluntary separation. But what about involuntary separation, wherein people would not like to part ways from the company, but they are forced to do so? Why? Because of discharges, layoff, retrenchment, VRS, voluntary retirement schemes, and suspension. Remember, not all of them are negative on the front of an employee. At times, the organization is not able to sustain them, as because of the lack of business that has been generating, and so on and so forth. So yes, separations are of two types: voluntary and involuntary, as the case might be. Let us look at those separation issues one by one and very minutely. When an employee decides to terminate his or her relationship with the employer, there are basically two types: quits out of dissatisfaction of the current job, probably, or better opportunities available elsewhere. Retirement is occur when an employee reach an end of the careers, and it need not be end of the career because of the medical issues also. You people actually might meet with an accident, rendering them absolutely useless altogether, and in terms of productive production process is concerned. So probably they have to be retired at this is unfortunate most of the time, but this happens. Involuntary separations. Now, employer terminates the employee. What are the three reasons behind those termination? Let me take you through them one by one. First, organization itself is not going in a very good phase, in a very healthy phase. It is not generating enough cash. Probably the business is dwindling over a period of time. So eventually the organization decides to terminate the employees to reduce their cost. Faulty hiring leading to a mismatch. Now, what happened during the hiring process? There might be a lot of promises and potential that might have been displayed by the individual, but at the end of the day, when things have been realized, it seems that they were far-fetched and things were not right in the very first impression, and that leads to a faulty hiring. This leads to a mismatch. Employee exhibits deviant behavior by vitiating the environment. But this is where employees are detrimental to the organization, are not doing the requisite things every now and then, and that is what the deviant behavior. It means it is causing more of a harm than anything else, and that is what we need to go about it. Yes, this is the reason why employee exhibit deviant behavior and organization are forced to terminate their employment. Now, types, what are those employee terminations? Now, there are something called discharges, also called termination, is done when the employer finds the employees to be non-performing, absolutely a liability on the company head. So it's better to get rid of the person. Then there are layoffs. Now this might be temporary separation, might be. I am not saying that uh, this is always a temporary separation. Mostly it's a permanent separation, but at times it might be a temporary separation. So why this layoff? Because it's the inability of the employer or the company to pay them the right wages, the due wages. So why it is a best way is to retrench them for the time being, until and unless the business grows and the cash flow improves and during those period employee might be rehired. There's nothing wrong, there's no blot on the characters, or should I say the performance issues of an employee, but simply because of the fact that the industry itself is going through a lean phase. This is what the layoffs are all about. It they can be put into employment once things improves. But what happens if there is, I'm utilizing the word called retrenchment. Now probably this is a time when the company is also going through a lean phase, and the company wants to quit the scope of the business altogether. So it's basically a termination and retrenchment. Again, fault of the company not to enough generate enough cash, enough revenue, enough client, enough customers, because of a host of reasons. Let us not go into it. And there are no faults as far as the employees are concerned. So employees are being retrenched with the effect that they will not be rehired at all. So it differs from dismissal, but it takes without any fault of the employees, as the case might be. Voluntary retirement schemes sending home surplus labor, always also known as a golden handshake. Why? Because in VRS, a lump sum payment is being paid. Absolutely. Lump sum payment is being paid as on when on about. A pension is also been issued at prices, as certain freebies are also been given with the passage of time that comes around it. So we need to make it a issues as far as VRS is concerned. Let us understand the right sizing. Now, what has been meant by right sizing is reducing the size of the employment with the passage of the workforces, increasing it or to maintaining the level. Why? Because it depends on the scope of the business, the employee strength at the most desired level. Mostly it is downsized only, triggered by the company's bottom line. When the company's bottom line is threatened, technological advances renders people redundant, and organizational restructuring is what we are looking forward to. This is the factual requirement that comes in and around. Always about right sizing, as the case might say so. Right sizing can be quite painful, not only for the employees but for the families also. It always affects the morale of the employees. It might say, yes, we cannot depend on the company. That company might keep on changing because on the basis of the fluctuating business that comes around it. Guidelines to manage downsizing considers the human element, make who goes and who stays decision judiciously. Delays and pay hikes, freeze hiring, restrict overtime, retain or redeploy employees, engage part-time employees as the case might be, switch to job sharing. What do we go by downsizing as saying? People are being reduced as far as termination is concerned. The number of overall head calls will be reduced in employees, and people are supposed to do a lot of plentiful of job at the same time. So we are looking for downsizing. We are also looking for temporary hires or temp hires for the part-time employees. We would love to retain the core employees altogether, and there is absolutely no hiring in place. Absolutely no hiring. In case if there are any hiring, it is all temp employees or temporary employees. In fact, stresses have been given, or people have been encouraged to go for opt for a voluntary retirement schemes. This also attends to the morale of the serving employees. Now, that is what the guidelines to downsizing is all about. It make who goes and who stays decision very judiciously, and delay the pay hikes as on when on basis. Managing separation is positive outcome. Organizations becoming much fitter, much trimmer. Why? Because now we have the skeletal workforce leveling around it. We are saving on a huge amount in terms of wages and salary bill. Fresh ideas have been brought in by the new blood that have been recruited by the new entrant. These are the positivities of managing separation, but there are negativities also. For example, the employees who have retained their job will always have this uncertainty lurking in their mind whether they will be the next person to be retrenched or not. So that means it they are being their morale has been disturbed, and they will not be giving their 100%. So it might rather add to the cost. cost of turnover include retirement cost, hiring, training cost. That is also one of the things. If people have been left out, you need to hire people, you need to give advertisement, you need to put in your time and effort in hiring, or hiring cost, in training cost, probably thereby. So these are the demerits of separation. There are certain positives and certain negatives for everything that comes in your life, right? With this, I come to an end of this presentation. Thank you for watching this video.